As former President Trump's criminal trial wraps up yet another week, Judge Juan Merchan directing the prosecution's star witness to stop talking about Trump and the case. Meanwhile, that witness, Michael Cohen, is expected to take the stand on Monday. Our legal correspondent Arlene Richards has more.
An uneventful day in former President Trump's Manhattan criminal trial as Day 15 winds down early on Friday. The prosecution called a series of custodial witnesses before ending at 2 p.m. With extra time to spare, the defense called for a gag order against the prosecution's star witness, Michael Cohen. Trump attorney Todd Blanche argued that Cohen should have the same gag order as Trump for Cohen's repeated social media attacks. Judge Juan Merchan didn't grant the request. Trump railed against the judge.
There is no gag order to Michael Cohen. What the judge did was amazing, actually. It was amazing. Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody. It's a disgrace, and you see it. The media sees it.
The judge did instruct the prosecution to tell Cohen to stop making public comments about Trump and this case. Cohen previously said he would refrain from attacks on Trump. Defense attorneys said Friday that Cohen posted on TikTok Wednesday night wearing a T-shirt that showed Trump in an orange jumpsuit and behind bars. Meanwhile, in other legal matters, the judge told prosecutors to compel testimony from Alan Weisselberg. Weisselberg is Trump's former CFO, currently serving time in prison for perjury. He played a leading role in directing employees to reimburse Cohen. The prosecution argued that it's too complicated, but Merchan ordered them to try, despite the defense's objections. On Monday, Cohen is expected to take the stand. Cohen made the $130,000 payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels, who claimed she had an affair with Trump in 2006, which he denies. Prosecutors said today it's entirely possible they will rest their case by the end of next week. Arlene Richards, NTD News.
Communities in Arizona have been seeing what may be the worst of the record surge in illegal immigration. Members of the House Judiciary Committee traveling to a border town in Arizona to examine that impact. NTD's Washington correspondent Jack Bradley has the details.
Members of the House Judiciary Committee are in Sahuarita, Arizona today, taking a close look during a field hearing at how the border crisis is impacting communities that are hard hit down there. 4 witnesses testified before members of Congress, including a retired chief Border Patrol agent and a mother whose child died from fentanyl.
But we're experiencing now, it's something that we have never seen before. The numbers, the amount, the consequences of it.
But this virtual flood of pills both into and through Arizona, which has dramatically worsened under the current administration, allowed my boys to make choices they may not have without the current open border crisis.
The Border Patrol has encountered more illegal immigrants in Arizona than any other state this fiscal year, about 370,000. On Thursday, the Biden administration proposed a new immigration rule. It would allow authorities to more quickly reject asylum seekers that are linked to terrorism or have committed crimes. The proposal comes amid rising public disapproval of immigration policies under the Biden administration.
And the staunch difference between the previous administration and the current is gut-wrenching and jaw-dropping.
Wall construction was stopped on our ranch by President Biden.
And earlier this week, 14 Democrats sent a letter to President Biden urging him to use any tool at his command, including executive action, to stomp out the border crisis and resolve the subsequent fentanyl trafficking impacting America. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Jack Bradley, NTD News.
Sheriff Mark Lamb is located in Pinal County, Arizona. He's also running for Arizona's Senate seat. To learn more about the border crisis in his state, we're happy to have him with us to assess. Sheriff Mark Lamb, thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Of course, Sheriff, 15 House Democrats from key battleground states, including your state there of Arizona, you have Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, all writing a letter to President Biden urging him to use all tools at his disposal to restore order at the southern border, including taking executive action. Biden saying that he would not necessarily saying one way or the other that he would take that action. Most of these Democrats are facing tough elections in November with the backdrop of illegal immigration. Are there existing laws on the books that you think the president could or should enforce?
Yeah, this is what I've been saying. There's no need for a new bill. There's no need for taxpayers to put more money. They have all the president has all the authority under Immigration and Naturalization 212F to take care of all these issues. It's the same authority he used to reverse all of the things that were working under the Trump administration. And he brags about undoing 84 executive orders that were working a lot for the border stuff. So yes, he has the authority. And some of those things would be, look, enforcing Title VIII, allowing Border Patrol to do their job. If you come across this country or the border illegally, you need to be sent back. That's the way it's supposed to be. If you do it a second time, you're actually charged criminally. They also need to be doing the Remain in Mexico program, which means that you're not going to be able to claim asylum and wait in America until 2030 or 2032 before your court date. These are just some things that we've got to implement. And we've got to stop funding the NGOs, these non-governmental organizations. We're sending all this money and they're aiding and abetting in the trafficking of human beings. They're not helping fix the problem. They're actually encouraging the illegal immigration because they're giving people a soft landing when they get here. They're paying for hotels. They're giving them gift cards, cash, plane tickets all over the country. It is a real problem. And the UN has been a big problem with that too. They're taking our tax dollars that we've sent over internationally to the UN, and they're using those tax dollars to actually bring in immigration to this country. So that would be a big thing that I would ask for. And hopefully when President Trump comes in, he stops those funding for those NGOs.
Sheriff, I think this is a very important point that you're making. A lot of time, and I don't want to brush over it, because a lot of times we, just focus on the cartels profiting off of this border crisis. But you're saying the United Nations and NGOs that are affiliated with them could be profiting and exacerbating the border crisis as well.
Yeah, look, this is one of the reasons I thought the border bill, which wasn't a border bill, it was a global assistance bill, that what they call a bipartisan global bill, was a terrible bill. One of the things in there was $2.3 billion of our tax dollars going to NGOs within this country for border stuff. There was also another $9 billion that was going to go internationally through the State Department for global assistance, which most of that was going to go to the UN. I did a video a few months ago where I talked about how when these folks come across, these NGOs are giving them plane tickets, phones, and even gift cards. Well, the media tried to debunk me and say I was giving out false information. I just saw the Epoch Times is confirming it again, but a few months ago, the UN acknowledged that they had given over $1.6 billion to 248 NGOs in the way of gift cards and cash for people coming into this country illegally. So that is probably one of the biggest problems that goes overlooked. And these NGOs have a lot of power within their government, or lobbyists or whoever they are. They're making tens of millions, if not over $100 million.
Sheriff, you're obviously running for Senate in your state of Arizona. Your challenger, if you will, or competitor is Kari Lake, another very big personality in that state. What is it that you think will separate you from her? And ultimately, why are you running? Is it because of the border?
Look, we're both pretty passionate about this state and about this country, but there's really a big difference. And the big difference is a vast amount of experience that I bring to the table. I've been an elected official for 2 terms. I'm the only one who's beaten the Democrats. I've also spent the last 8 years fighting this border crisis. I know it intimately. Not only am I the most qualified candidate in the state of Arizona as it comes to the border and knowledgeable, I would be the most knowledgeable and qualified senator in the Senate once I get to the Senate.
Sheriff Mark Lamb, candidate for United States Senate in the state of Arizona. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at epochtv.com.